Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy Sunday to all. Hopefully you are enjoying your weekends. Today was supposed to be allocated for a little concert prep for Dream Concert 2024 that was happening next weekend. Unfortunately, that concert has been postponed, and now I have Sunday open to do a little bit of catch-up. So welcome to what is technically episode 2 of the K-pop catch-up, this time the girl group edition. Essentially, we're just going to go over some of the music that I missed while I was away on a research trip to China. I was essentially gone for like two-ish weeks or so. And so I figured this would be a great a time as any to just play a little bit of catch-up. And we don't have a whole lot in this category, but we have a lot of music to get through, so let's get through them, shall we? On this kind of little girl group collection, we've got the Japanese pre-release for the JP debut of tripleS with the song Hash. This dropped the day that I was flying out for my research trip. I was awake until midnight to see if they dropped an MV for it. They didn't. But we're going to check out the song anyway, leading up to their Japanese debut, whenever that is. CRAXY dropped a new song titled Masquerade, which I'm going to be jumping on board with. And this one is a little bit of an extra, but NMIXX dropped what I believe is a cover of a song from a drama that has been rewritten in Cantonese. I don't know the exact details behind it, but they dropped an MV for a song titled Feifei, and yeah, if you know, you know. I love me some NMIXX vocals, so we're gonna check that one out too. So let's send it one time. Here we go. Right. So the weird thing about Hash is there's no MV for it. I also can't find the YouTube music version of it. I've seen it on Apple Music. I've seen it on Spotify. That makes recording it really awkward. To get kind of technical on things. The audio levels on Spotify and the audio levels on YouTube are very different, and OBS has quite a difficult time balancing the two if I'm recording in the same session. So we're just gonna send this. We may listen to it again whenever the full thing, the full Japanese debut of tripleS happens. They've performed this, as they had some event in Odaiba that they were like announcing on social media and stuff, and I'm pretty sure they performed this in Odaiba, which must have been really cool for the waves that got to see it. But oh, I just remembered they were supposed to be in Dream Concert too. Oh, damn. Alright, you know what? Besides the point, I love tripleS. I love their music. I'm so excited to hear what they've brought to the table for the Japanese side of things. I cannot attest to the accuracy of the color-coded lyrics on this video. Having said that, I haven't seen a single comment on the thread saying that it's incorrect. So we're gonna run it. If it is incorrect, I can only apologize on behalf of the creator, but that's just kind of the nature of these color-coded lyric videos, isn't it? So, enough waffling, jump into it. Here we go. Loud, loud. Walk in. We've got la la la's. It's already giving me anime OST vibes. I like it. What if, considering this is a song made for the Japanese market, had their moments over, but this screams Japan to me. Like, it's got the quirkiness from like an anime opening that I love. It's got the busy instrumental line that I love from J-pop. Get signature moment, Mayu. Hell yes. You know, so far, I feel like they're pretty good on line distribution accuracies. And also, La La La's are freaking catchy, as you expect from a tripleS song. Slow it down, halftime it, okay. God, the build in this turn is terrific. Yeah, it's got a terrific almost funkiness to it, like actual funk genre funkiness to it. Whoever's in charge of keys is having a blast on the there. Oh, we're straight into the bridge. Iconic soda moment, of course. We need one in every tripleS song at this point. God damn that piano. Look, that is a song. Oh my goodness. Like, I know this is just like a pre-release for a Japanese debut. This is like, what, essentially a Japanese version of their Assemble 24 in a way. Oh my heavens above, this song is really good. It's very me-coded. It's got a whole lot of stuff that I love about it. I think the arrangement is fantastic. It's such a busy song. And it almost feels fitting that tripleS get a busy song like this, considering, you know, constantly changing 24 members throughout a song becomes very busy, and almost the instrumental part is like a representation of that in a way. And yet, it doesn't feel overwhelmingly busy, if that makes sense. Like, you get the brass sections in the background, you get the keys that are moving a mile a minute, it's... And for me, it's got kind of comedy anime opening vibes to it. They like there's a group called Sumika that did a song for the opening of Love is Hard for an Otaku. I only reference it because the song kind of has like the similar busyness to it. It also may or may not be my favorite anime and favorite manga series turned into an anime. Terrific series. Highly encourage you to check it out if you like cheesy rom-coms. I'm a big fan of the cheesy rom-com. That is the cheesy rom-com for me. But essentially what I'm trying to get at is it's fun, it's energetic, there's so much happening. But because there's so much happening, the energy becomes infectious and you want to consume that energy. You want it injected into your bloodstream. And for me, a song like this does it perfectly. But it's still very much a tripleS song. I mean, tripleS kind of have picked up the moniker of becoming the La 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 group in K-pop right now. And with good reason, because they've incorporated on so many occasions, and every single time the execution of the La La La's has hit. But this doesn't feel like any part of their Korean discography, really. This feels very much along the lines of a completely different vein of music than what they've done in the past. I'd probably say something like non-scale is as close as you're gonna get with something like Hash, and there's a reason why Non-Scale is my favorite B-side off of Assemble 24 back there. And there's a reason why I love Hash. It's that energy. It's that bright, bubbly energy. And hey, if the full Japanese debut of tripleS is going to be anything along the lines of this, their Japanese discography is going to be immaculate for me. I mean, they're already 1 for 1, so hell yes. Next up, CRAXY have new music out. I feel like it's been a hot minute since we've checked in with them on the channel. They didn't drop an MV for this, but we're just gonna run it anyways. Similar to how it was with Hash from about 30 seconds ago. We'll run whatever we've got. This is Masquerade, and I didn't see this get announced anywhere. I also don't know what's happening with CRAXY at the moment. I feel like, though, I saw some new stuff about them way early on in the year, but really been almost radio silent since then. There's been a handful of groups that we've covered in the past on the channel that I really haven't heard a lot from. CRAXY's one of them. So it's great that we're getting new music in general, but let's see what direction they've gone, because they've had a pretty wide repertoire of sounds recent, or at least out of the songs that I've checked out, pretty wide-ranging sounds. So here we go.
I've been looking for the trick you hide and tried to see behind the mask you've made. I'm so sick of falling your disguise is feeling like a masquerade. Keep it real and show me that you love me instead of putting on a second face. Baby, you and me could be a party, but I'll never go to masquerade. Getting bored with a bad boy, but
there's a kind of like hauntingness to this.
Getting tired, reading that camouflage. My heart is drowsy. I've been waiting for you patiently, trying to see if you're the answer me. Better let go.
The layering right now is brilliant.
You will lose it. Try to conceal what you truly feeling now, but baby I know that it's only
The triplet strings? Hello? We're kind of building this dramaticism here, and I'm liking it. Yeah, it's really got a kind of like spooky music box vibe to it, and I love it. It's such a little amount of like the unnervingness that this provides, but it's the right amount. And the big vocal stacking moments. And the little triplet strings is so tasteful and makes a whole world of difference. And this chorus, like CRAXY have done some really well-written songs in the past. This one might be my favorite that they've done. Love the halftime bridge. Oh, that's not even a bridge. That's like a post-chorus. Cool. This is definitely a bridge. There it is. All the melodies this song has are so good. Yes, that is what I'm talking about. This is a song. I wish this had an MV for it. Actually, I just had a thought. CRAXY are touring right now, aren't they? They're part of that, like, kind of... Calling it a Nugu tour is not really fair, but a tour that has, like, iChillin', CRAXY, Trends, and Yuche on it. It's like... essentially, like, the Nugu tour. I think that's so cool to get, like, a series of concert tours, or, like, a concert tour of maybe lesser-known artists, just, you know, get the word out about them. I think that's very neat, and I love that CRAXY... I think CRAXY are part of that tour, aren't they? But, oh, this song is nice. This song is really nice. And I hope they get to perform this on that concert tour, because this song deserves to be heard. It's very me-coded, essentially, like, much the same way with tripleS's Hash from earlier. This is very me-coded, but in a very different way. It's got a dramaticism to it that feels like a performance. Like, this is a performance song, but in the realm of, like, musical theater type of performance. It carries that dramaticism really well. As a violin player growing up, this very much plays to my heartstrings because of the various string elements interlaced throughout the song. I think the melodies that not just the vocal part but the instrumental part also takes is extremely nice to listen to. This song's really well balanced. It's got a dark, haunting energy to it that's not too intense and not too overwhelming. And I feel like maybe longtime CRAXY fans will say that this is one of their simpler songs. I don't disagree with that, but for me, it's that simplicity that really kind of makes it pop for me. I like what CRAXY have done in the past with their really complex stuff. Like, Nugudum is still a song that lives in my head, just from how elaborately it's been put together. But something like Masquerade, where there's a lot of details going on, but the final execution being not the most complex thing in the world, really, I think, plays to its advantage on how well it's received by me. But it's musical theater for me. It's that element of dramaticism that sells this. So let's go back. I want the bridge, or the pre-chorus. Actually, before we even get into the pre-chorus, I love that they're not holding back on the swear words. Hell yes, I definitely heard a bullshit in there. But also, layers, so many layers, not just vocally, but instrumentally as well. You're never really isolating a part on its own. You're gonna have some kind of support in the background. CRAXY, I feel like, have usually... Well, they had a... What was it? Not a cipher, but their last project that I'm thinking of, it was a song where it constantly evolved, and it was like each member had their own individual part. So I guess it was kind of like a cipher in a way, but that song, you know, it was meant for individual members to pop and shine. That's why you don't really get a whole bunch of assists from the other members in the background. This is a song that allows for that background support to happen, and there's so much of it, and it's so pretty. But that extra triplet violin or the shoulder strings in the background adds such a nice rhythmic texture to it. The triplets, it breaks apart the song so wonderfully, and listen to it. It adds, by having like the shoulder strings come in, it almost adds an air of elegance to it, right? And then keep it going. Big Bill. Punch it. And now that the drop has happened, replace the shoulder strings with the lower strings, replace the bowed triplets with the rhythmically bouncy pizzicato lower strings, and now you've added an element of darkness to it. There is still that kind of quirkiness to it with the bouncy rhythm, but the lower instruments, the pizzicato, now we've got a kind of mysteriousness that's crept into the song. And I think, you know, it's not spooky, scary skeletons like that direction, but this definitely has a playfulness, but a darkness to it that just sells. It's perfect. That is what I'm talking about, man. Hell yeah, that is playlisted immediately. And now we move on to the final song of this block. This is NMIXX's cover / recreation of the song Feifei. Admittedly, my research into this release or whatever this project is very minimal, so if you have context for this answers, please do fill me in on it. The only things that I know, or at least that I've read or heard, that I cannot confirm its accuracy, is this was part of a drama. It was remade or rewritten into Cantonese, and now NMIXX are doing a cover / recreation of the Cantonese version of the original song. Again, context, it's a very long kind of going on that I don't really know the details of, so please correct me. But y'all know how much I love NMIXX here on the channel, considering I spent 25 minutes talking about a 3-minute album teaser. I have a lot of appreciation and a lot of love for what NMIXX do musically. So of course we have to check it out. So, let's see what this is, because I'm very unfamiliar with what's happening, but you know what, it's new NMIXX, so here we go. I mean, it's definitely got OST vibes, doesn't it? Maybe we should have done this yesterday. Considering OST Saturdays was yesterday. Hello, Hey One vocal flips. I heard that. Really interesting, like, layering effect going on here. You never get too much happening at once, but you get tons of different stuff happening in the background that just kind of like jumps in and out. It's also very loud. Got the gorgeous strings. That's very classical, as part of like classical part of an OST. But it's a song that really suits their vocals like really well. Like, there's definitely members that shine on this song, but typical NMIXX, they sound great on it. And for a song that's very stylistically very different to what they do typically, nice, they pull it off really well. Get the heavy, almost timpani hits, but the instruments go light there, really neat. Super delicate finish at the end too. Like, I get why this is you know, this was made for an OST. Again, I don't know if that fact is correct, but if it was, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Like, as someone who legitimately goes through, I don't even, well, let's see, 5 OSTs, let's make the math easy, 4 OSTs a week for 52 weeks, 208 OSTs roughly a year just on the channel, and then whatever else I listen to in my free time. I listen to a lot of OSTs, and I like to think that I could pick up on like general trends of what an OST will have, what an OST is supposed to do, when an OST is going to be used in a project. Song like Feifei very much fits the mold of the OST realm, right? It's got the emotionalness of it, it's got the prettiness of it, but it's a song that on its own is very pretty, but can very well equally accentuate the emotional aspect of what is happening on screen. That is what an OST for a drama or a film is meant to do, is accentuate what is happening on screen. And I remember doing a paper on this in undergrad, but music in visual film is super important because it can completely change how whatever is being depicted on screen is interpreted. Take, for example, the very famous movie scene from Jaws. You know, the shark coming up, attacking the boat, has the iconic John Williams score in the background. Like, that is iconic in pop culture. But in that film, without that song, you really don't get any of like the scary dramatic moment happening. That entire scene is built on the fact that that iconic John Williams score drives the scene. Take any horror movie, listen to it on mute, it is like 90% not as scary as if you listen to it with the sound on, because the sound engineering and the music that accompanies the scene is so powerful. You feel the emotional powerfulness of this song. On its own, you don't get any of like the TV elements, but you still feel the emotional value. That means you put actual like television scenes on top of this, oh my goodness, the emotions are going to be through the roof enhanced. And they sound great on it. Bei especially, I feel like I've said this about her voice a lot, especially with FE304 and the whole roller coaster era, but genuinely, Bei's voice is so captivating for me, because she is able to do the lower range stuff with such authority, but it's delivered in a way that's so fitting for the rest of the group, if that makes sense. Like, a lower vocal is, it's going to stick out. Like, you have your mid-range vocals that is your very like neutral tone, and if you go anywhere beyond that, so like your super high voice in NMIXX's case, you know, Lily's voice, when she really puts like the hammer down and really sends it on a full belt, it pierces. When Bei sits on that low voice, it pierces. Same with Soyun, when she sits in her lower range, it kind of cuts through pretty clearly. And yet for Bei, I never really get that like clear-cut feeling. It always blends in perfectly with whatever the song is doing. And I feel like that's such an impressive skill to do. Also, I've just seen this. This was a brilliant episode of Song Stealer. I loved their performance of Dream Girl. It's also my favorite Shiny song, so I love that. And also, we get the new FE304 era coming out soon. I'm so excited for that. Oh. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a good time. It's a little kind of all over the place, but weirdly enough, we didn't have a whole lot of girl group music that dropped while I was away. So we kind of threw in some stuff here and there, but it felt good to get passionate about NMIXX again, because it feels like FE304, well, I guess FE304 Break now, isn't it? Because the new era is called Stick Out. But FE304 and the whole, like, you know, Dash and Run for Roses and Boom and Soñar was a long time ago now. It was one of the first things that I checked out on the channel this year. And I love getting passionate about NMIXX, man. It's like one of my favorite things to do. CRAXY, always great to jump back on board with a group that really brings something different to the table every time. Masquerade is brilliant. And then tripleS are one of my favorite K-pop groups at the moment, and they once again delivered with the high quality music and has me very excited to check out what the Japanese debut is going to be like later down the road. But also makes me a little bit sad that I'm not going to get to see them next weekend. But you know what? Hey ho. We win some, we lose some. It's how she goes. But I am going to wrap it up here before I continue to waffle about Lord knows what, because that's also what I like to do, and what I do best is waffle. So I'm going to leave you all here. Thank you all for watching along with me. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. One last request from me today: let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be checking with your friends and family, holding the door open for somebody, or even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life, for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, know that I will always be a friend, an ally, a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.